Hello, everybody. Okay, we're going to wrap this thing up or get through the rest of these questions for the part two of the Q&A here. So picking up right where I left off. I know it's kind of unfair that I'm going from oldest or from newest to oldest, making those who ask the questions first have to wait longer, but unfortunately I can't order it in any other way. So which 80s cartoon is your favorite? Could I write a book about it? No, I don't think I could write a book about it because I'm not really into cartoons that much. It's kind of funny. I liked Bugs Bunny. I liked, when I was a kid, I always enjoyed watching Bugs Bunny, and I always sympathized with Bugs, no matter who he was up against. But I hated the Roadrunner segments because I wanted the Coyote to catch the Roadrunner, and he never did. But for some reason, Bugs had this kind of charisma about him that made you want to be on his side, made you enjoy seeing him take down whoever he was taking down, whether it was Yosemite Sam or Porky Pig or somebody else. Marvin the Martian. I don't know. I'm not really a big cartoon guy. I'm sorry about that. I know a lot of people are, really into that stuff, really into anime. My daughter really likes anime, and I see the potential of it, and I can, in the abstract, I can enjoy it, but it's just never been a passion of mine. I liked the Super Friends cartoon when I was a kid, which was a little bit embarrassing to admit, even back then. But the one where they had Bizarro, the anti-Superman, the big with a backwards S, and with Mixelplick, the little guy from the sixth dimension who would come and wreak havoc. Anyway, enough about that. If a wife nags in the forest and no one is around, does her husband still say yes, dear? Yes, without question. He definitely does. That's a fairly easy existential philosophical question to resolve. I just did. Okay, listening from a couple of interviews of people who had encounters with Dogman, I'm convinced that such things do exist. Have you heard of these accounts? What do you make of them? I don't really know about Dogman. I've heard about like the Skinwalkers or other sort of paranormal stuff, and I have an open mind about it. I bet there's a lot of creatures out there that, and I sense they're probably demonic. That would be my hunch. Okay, I don't use Instagram. I can't use what you use Insta for. I have fun on Instagram. I know that, like all big tech, it's evil. The makers of it are evil, and and I know that there's a lot of child porn on there that they don't do anything about, just like on Twitter, just like on Facebook, because they're all pervs. I sincerely believe that, and they all want to promote this stuff. I sincerely believe that, even though they don't admit to it. And also, it can be a real, it can be a vortex of narcissism for attractive young girls. I know that, Instagram models and all that. But for me, I just kind of have fun, showing images and, goofing around, and it's fine, and I can promote. It's the one social media site where I go on and promote my books and stuff. So I'm fine. I want to know how you got those scars. Well, I had a surgery done 5 years ago, and I'm not going to go into detail about it. It was not major surgery, but it was not really minor surgery either, and so that's why I have these scars, and that's also why if you when you see me holding myself a certain way, it's because if I might be having a little bit of pain or a little bit of discomfort. I still occasionally get, even 5 years on. Uh, Not mean to have a pity party, but that's how I got those scars. Okay. Is THX 1138 overrated? I don't show your work. It's been years since I've seen it. I don't think it's overrated because I don't hear it. I don't hear it like effused over that much. Um, uh, it's probably I'm betting that the special effects aren't that great. Um, so I don't know. I would have to see it again really to. And I think I've only seen it once, and it was quite a while ago. Scott Terry says, please do an analysis of Donnie Darko and or Southland Tales. Well, Scott, I've talked about Donnie Darko. Just go scroll up a little bit. Maybe a couple weeks ago, I did a video on my which was basically my review or analysis of Donnie Darko. I mean, I don't go into great detail about it, but it's an intriguing film to be sure. I don't know if I see what you see with the director, but maybe you're right. Southland Tales I saw a long time ago. I barely remember anything about it now. Favorite 90s sitcom? My favorite 90s sitcom was a 70s sitcom called Welcome Back, Kotter. I was never really a sitcom guy in the 90s, and I know that's strange because the 90s was the golden age of sitcoms, wasn't it? Seinfeld, Friends, what else? Maybe those were the only ones. I don't know. Those were immensely popular at the time, but I didn't watch them. And I can appreciate Seinfeld. I can appreciate I can, again, just like with anime, I can appreciate it without really, but I never really felt drawn in by it. Welcome Back, Kotter is the only sitcom that I really, that really spoke to me, which is funny to say. It's a pretty cheesy sitcom, but I mean, I really liked the characters. I thought they were funny. I thought they were fun. I enjoyed the way they, the camaraderie, and I enjoyed Mr. Kotter, the character of Mr. Kotter. He kind of reminded me of my dad a little bit. So there was something kind of familiar about this. He's this sort of paternal figure, and he's kind of a wiseacre himself, and he's got these, delinquents with hearts of gold who are all like 25 to 30 years old, but they're playing teenagers. So anyway, that was the last sitcom I liked. Now, past the 90s, I did, really, I think I've seen pretty much every episode of The Office. And I appreciate the humor there, but I enjoy it, but I still didn't watch it and think, wow, that's me. I see myself in this show. It wasn't like that. It was just like, oh, The Office is on. It's funny. It's, and so I would say that the sitcom that I've come closest to really, liking in a more than like a feeling entertained by kind of way is the show Community, which is really funny, but also very unique and original. I love the characters of Troy and Abed. Great comedy duo, underrated comedy duo. They really make that show. Unfortunately, the maker of the show is a Hollywood degenerate, and so for a time, I really couldn't. When I heard about some of Dan Harmon and some of what he had, some of his antics, I really couldn't like the show anymore. But then I got back into it again, just because it's very well made and funny, and I appreciate the humor of it, and I appreciate the overall vibe of it, the aesthetic of it. Let's see. What do you think the USA will be like in 10 years? Do you worry for your two kids that their country could be considerably worse during their lifetimes? Gosh. In 10 years, I don't have any idea. It could be, it could just get worse and worse, or it could actually get better. Here's the thing about the future of America. I feel like somewhere down the line, and it might be 5 years from now or it might be 50 years from now, somewhere down the line, there's going to be either some kind of civil war or some kind of just decision to peacefully break apart, to balkanize. There'll be an allowance made for some portions of the country to secede from other portions of the country. And I know people will jump on and say, it'll never happen, that'll never happen. You know, I know. Just hold your fire, please, okay? Because you don't know. I mean, it seems like I know what it feels like to think you know everything. But you're only seeing things from, you know, the immediacy of the present. And you don't know. You don't know, I don't know, nobody knows where things are going to go from here. It doesn't look good, I'll say that. But I don't understand, I don't really get with this whole hand-wringing thing, you know. You know, yes, you can fret about the state of the country, the state of the union, the state of the world, but there are also things you can do. You know, it's not like all the impression I get from some people is that, you know, the only choice you have is just to passively endure things just getting worse and worse. But the truth is, even if things do get worse and worse, you still have your life. You still have choices with your life. You still have a niche that you can carve out for yourself and for the people that you're close to, and for like-minded other people. I just don't. It's kind of like it's the same way I respond to the black pill people. You know, always shrilling about cope. I just don't. This whole fretting over the future. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't really think of things that way. I have faith, I guess. Ultimately, I must have some kind of faith. And my kids are great kids, and I think they're going to be okay. What is the worst social media platform? I would have to go with Twitter. I would have to say Twitter. It seems to be the place that just allows for the worst vibes to just predominate, for toxicity to just accumulate everywhere. So yeah, Twitter is awful. I wish that Twitter would just would join Bono on one of the moons of Jupiter and just go away and not come back. Yeah, I'm not sure why that is. I'm not sure why. I mean, other than the fact that it's the founder of it is a degenerate, Silicon Valley degenerate, censor-happy person. But that's the same for all of the tech companies and all of the social media platforms. They're all that way. Okay. So Solomon asks, what is your most common approach to or method in writing, in case you have one? And 2, according to Ballard and Crawl, young writers shouldn't wait for inspiration to write and have to put a lot of effort into writing compulsively. In your case, what advice do you have for younger writers, especially aspiring ones? I don't really have a common approach to writing. I write when I feel inspired to write. And if it's true what these writers say, that young writer, well, I'm not young, so maybe that's my out there, that that writers shouldn't wait for inspiration and have to put a lot of effort into writing compulsively. Uh, I don't know what advice would I give. I would say just I don't think I have anything profound to say. I think it's good to read, to find literature that you enjoy, and I find that reading, inspiration can come from unusual places, and often, I think the writer that inspires me the most, or that has had the biggest effect on me as a writer, is definitely Dostoevsky. But I don't. It's a little odd. I don't set out to be Dostoevsky, but I think it was through my exposure to his writing that I discovered something about myself and my perspective, and the kind of characters that I like to write about. So that would be my advice, such as it is. Okay. So I'm going to stop there because I don't want to get this to get too long again. And I'm actually going to do a part 3. I know I said I wasn't going to do that, but I think I'm going to do that. Let me do one more, actually, because I like this one. This is funny. Bonto Mac says, Nowicki is a Jewish name. He goes on, in your youth you sported a Jewfro. As an alt-right Jew, what is your take on the old JQ? Well, I already gave my take on the old JQ. Nowicki is a Polish name. I have heard that it can be a Jewish name. As far as I know, I'm just my ancestry is Polish Catholic. I haven't explored it to a great degree, or a great extent. I'm a pretty deracinated American Euro mutt, but I think my what you call my Jewfro. I blame that on my Sicilian heritage. I actually am somewhere between 1/4 and 1/8 Sicilian, and as from what I understand, the Sicilians are kind of thought to be the genetic refuse of Italy. So, so maybe that's where where I get the fro from. Got the curls, they weren't really tight curls. They were like they were soft curls, but yeah, it was a definite. I can understand the Jewfro thing, even though, as far as I know, it was a goy fro. So I'm going to leave off there, and I'll come back one more time to finish off these pesky questions. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for asking them, and I'll talk to y'all later.